It's Friday, July 18th, and it's time for your weekly recap. Magic Just Magic. Hi Chris, what would you do if you attended a formal event, e.g. wedding, and are ambushed by children you did not expect to be there? I always plan for all different age groups when I go to a party or an event because I've gone to shows that I thought were going to be kids shows that turned out to be for adults and vice versa. So I always keep in my pockets or in my case some tricks that are going to work for adults, some tricks that are going to work for kids, and some tricks obviously that will work somewhere in between. 148 Mr. Sam. Dear Chris, children's birthday party magic has always kind of turned me off as a magician because I like to go in the opposite direction and not be the kind of magician everybody expects, i.e. I don't like to be stereotyped when I tell people I'm a magician, as that's what a lot of people already think magicians are. What are your 3 best reasons for doing children's birthday parties apart from you get paid? I think the biggest reason for me to do children's magic shows is that I get to give these kids a new experience, show them an art form that they wouldn't normally get to see. I mean, you see magic on television, but seeing it live is such a different experience. And to be able to give a really good first experience to all of these kids, I think that's great. I also like the fact that children's parties is a chance for me to perform for an entire family. It's not just adults, it's not just kids. It's there's a whole family there. There's all different ages. And I want everybody, when they come to my children's shows, to enjoy that and be a part of that. And the last thing is, I think it really keeps me on my toes as a magician to perform for kids. Kids are seen as sort of rambunctious and hecklers by a lot of magicians, but I think that they're brutally honest. And if they catch you doing something, they're gonna let you know. They don't have that that sort of politeness that an adult has. So by having that sort of feedback, it actually forces me to become a better magician. Lumos Magic. I am 12 and do very few children's birthday parties, but I'd love to do more. How do I spread the word? Smiley face with a nose, smiley face with a nose. Get into a restaurant, do performances at a restaurant that have families coming in. Go to like a farmer's market or out on the street where they're in an area where there's lots of kids. Talk to associations, camps. Right now it's summertime, camps are a great place to promote yourself. You do a show, you pass out business cards at the end, the kids hopefully give the business cards to their parents and not make paper airplanes out of them, and then you get hired for their birthday party. Libraries are another great place. Boys and Girls Club, like there are places where kids conjugate, and that is basically where you need to be. Chris, which do kids respond better to? Card tricks or more physical stuff, i.e. sponges, candy, etc.? Kids respond to candy. If you show a kid candy, they get excited because it's candy. Traditionally, the more visual something is, the more the kids tend to respond to it. However, if you do the right types of card tricks, they're going to enjoy it. They have a hard time with the memorization of a card and then the card coming back, which is a standard in card magic. But if you can do traveling cards, that's great. Card to wallet, card to pocket, that is great. Doing stuff where you're pulling off the pips and rearranging the cards, anything with a gap deck, that stuff is fantastic. So there's tricks that you can do with cards that kids respond to and enjoy. However, on the whole, if you want to keep it simple and black and white, card tricks no, and the big props that are visual and that appear and vanish, that's really where it's at. Andrew Gator, in your opinion, for a 20 to 30 minute show, what 5 tricks would you recommend start to finish? I do more magic in a 20 to 30 minute show than I think most magicians do. It's just my style. It's quick, I do a trick, and I want it to just be really full of magic. So I do probably closer to like 13, 14 tricks in that amount of time, but I'll give you 5 that could be drawn out and that whole deal. Number 1, food to go. That would be my start. Next up, I would probably do something like 20th Century Silks. Then I would do something like Hoppin Spots. Then Fraid Knot. And finally, I would go with the Houdini chain shackle escape, which is fantastic if you don't have the funds to go for a straitjacket or a straitjacket. Leonardo, sometimes children are not listening to you during your magic show. What do you do in that situation? Thank you. My show has a lot of audience participation, and I use that to my advantage. I will scan the audience, and I won't necessarily pick the kid that's like really wants to do it. Sometimes I'll pick the kid that is not listening or is heckling me or whatever, have them come up into my area and do the trick with them. And that usually gets them more engaged, gets the other kids more engaged as well, because one of them is up there. And also, in terms of like a heckler, usually a heckler just wants to be a part of the show. They want attention, and they're not getting it because you're getting the attention. So if you switch that and give them the attention, that sort of alleviates some of that. Another little trick that I'll do, if someone's talking to their friend a lot or distracted by something they're sitting next to, I'll have them come up on stage, do a trick, and then I'll sit them somewhere else. I'll put them back somewhere else, and that sort of helps manage the audience a little bit better. Magic O Famouser, 25 years of magic for me. After that time, some of my favorite stuff I've done for kids show is now politically incorrect. What do you think of this? Have you had problems with this? One of my biggest fears in performing magic is that I will become stale with my magic, that my humor will become dated, that my tricks will feel to the audience, even if they've never seen them before, they'll feel old. I've seen magic shows like this where a performer was doing jokes and tricks that I'd never ever seen before, and it felt stale. It felt like their heart wasn't in it. It just didn't feel new and fresh and fun. And so I am constantly changing my show around and making adjustments and trying out new material. And as a result, my show hasn't gone, I've been doing magic for over 20 years, but my show isn't 20 years old. It's morphed into what it is today, and I hope that it continues to morph so that it stays fresh and feels right to the audience. That's not to say that I don't take segments of the show and continue to carry them with me, but those segments in and of themselves will change and morph as time goes on. It depends on what your character is as a magician. If offending people and getting a laugh that way is something that you do well and that you feel comfortable doing, then you know that's your style, that's who you are, and that's fine. For me, I want to leave a show with the parents feeling good that they hired me to do the show for the kids. I want the kids to have enjoyed and understood the show. Okay, this week we are giving away a Triumph deck. This is a very, very cool routine and special deck that allows you to perform the Triumph effect in a very easy, no slight way. And so to get this, you're going to use the coupon code TRIUMPH, and it has a funny spelling. It's like a PH at the end. So you want to make sure that your spelling's correct. It's all lowercase. That's going to get you 5% off your order, plus put your name in the running to get a Triumph deck. Huh, what do you think of that? Pretty cool, I say. Well, that's all the time we have for this week. I want to thank you very much for choosing to watch the weekly recap. I know there's a lot of videos on the internet, and that you guys tune in and watch me every week makes me feel really good, and so thank you. Next week, I actually want to talk about that topic. I want to talk about performing magic online. What kind of tricks work, how to set that up, how to do it. I want to talk about magic tricks on video online. So go ahead and put your questions for that in the comment section down below here on YouTube, and or on the Magic Geek blog where this is posted. And next week I will answer your questions on that. Thanks very much. Have a wonderful week, and I'll see you next Friday.